Hey everybody, CW here, Card Wolf, because I'm always on the hunt for great cards. Today is Monday, and that means it is mail day, and we are broadcasting from my dining room today. We cannot fit this gigantic box on the table in the Wolf Lair, so instead we are out in the dining room. It is super bright and sunny out here too, so we have great light for actually looking at things. This is a gigantic box that we received from David R., also known to some of you as Surf North. David R. is a super friendly guy who I am fortunate enough to email with often, and he's a huge sports fan. We trade news and different opinions about sports a lot, and he's a great collector of a bunch of different kinds of sports cards as well. He told me he was sending me something, but I certainly did not expect it to be quite this big. It's marked as fragile, so perhaps there is a glass sculpture of me inside. That would be amazing, but I'm hoping it's something other than that. I don't know what I would even do with something like that. We're going to get on Mr. Kershaw now and get into this huge, enormous box. Thank you once again to David R. for sending this in, Surf North, and I will link to his channel in the descriptive box down there as we finish opening this and see what David R. has sent to the Card Wolf Citadel today. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It is Monday, and I hope you got to relax or go out and do something fun, or maybe even both. I don't know, whatever caught your fancy this weekend. I hope that you got to do it and that it was not stressful and that it was an enjoyable experience. It was very hot here, I can tell you that, and so we spent a lot of time mostly indoors. It looks as though David R. has sent me several issues of the Times from Gainesville, Georgia. So there you go. That is a whole lot of newspaper in here, keeping this stuff from. All right, here we go. We got our first thing in here, and this feels like an action figure. I want to make sure that I didn't accidentally toss anything aside that is actually something that, okay, we got several things in here. All right, let's pull these things out and then make sure there's nothing else in here. Yeah, this is the whole Sunday paper here, so that's pretty awesome, but I think this is rather out of date at this point. Let's put all of this off to the side here and scoot it back out of camera view. And we got all of this here. It looks like, well, this one is labeled to CW, so there we go. And then we've got something there. All right, this is very exciting. I don't think anyone, I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone has ever sent me action figures before. David R. is the person who sent me Mick Jagger, who is on the regular table that we do stuff with. And I enjoy having I don't know if it's Mick Jagger or Jaromir Jagr who is being portrayed on that figure that David R. sent me that I have on the table there, but that's why it's Mick Jagger. All right, so what do we have here? This is trying to be very careful about getting this out of here. It's a 1998 starting lineup figure of Gretzky along with the awesome Upper Deck card. This thing is in amazing, amazing condition. That is a beauty. I have to tell you, I do have some starting lineup baseball figures, but I don't think I've ever owned a starting lineup hockey figure. They just weren't that easy to find, quite honestly. And this is about the evolution of hockey, so I can educate myself there. That's pretty great. That is an awesome figure. I like that a lot. I've never had a hockey starting lineup figure, so that is a brand new thing for my PC. Thank you, David. I'm really, really pumped about that. That is awesome. I love that. We got, looks like more starting lineup in this one. Be very careful about removing this. That Gretzky is in fantastic condition. You would never know it was from 1998. It looks like it just came off the shelf today. So let's see what we have here. And this one is, oh wow, that is a beauty. That one is of Brooks and Cal. Man, check that out. A winning pair indeed. Winning pair classic doubles, which makes it sound like they're going to play tennis, which I don't think is the case. That is awesome. I do not have that. I think I have, in fact, I think I have both of these cards, loose cards, but I do not have the figures, and I certainly don't have them in the original package. Once again, this one looks beautiful too. This looks brand new. There are no creases or dings or anything on here. This is fantastic. Wow, David, these are awesome. I am thrilled to add these to my collection. I have to find a way to display these so that I can appreciate them and enjoy them every day. I really like both of those quite a lot. That is awesome and very unique. Like I said, I don't think anybody other than David has sent me action figures. I think Average Joe sent me a plush figure at one point, but I don't think I've gotten action figures from anybody other than David, so that is pretty cool. Now, this has a note in it, and it looks like it's got some football figures in here. Let's read the note first and see what we've got going on. Here is a mystery box for you. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for sending cards into the community. Later, Surfblue David. I think of him as Surf North, but he's also Surfblue, I guess. I forget that because I always think of him as his email address is Surf North, so that is why I do that. Snack on or surf up. Okay, I can do that. And then his address, which he probably doesn't want everybody in the world to have, I would guess. I have to say, I have a big box here that I need to send David that I've been accumulating for a matter of months at this point, and I keep adding stuff to it, and then we keep talking, and I think of some other thing I want to put in there, so I just need to put that in the mail. So what is in here? This looks, I'm going to pull a handful of these out to see what we have here. All right, we've got, are these football? I think they are, yeah. These are little football figures. These are awesome. My son has some figures like this. There's some baseball in here as well, it looks like. My son has some figures like this, and he enjoys them a great deal. Once it's football season, he sets them up, and then we illustrate plays and use them to sort of say, okay, this is how this play worked, and here's where the defense was playing. It's a zone or it's man-to-man or whatever, and we talk about different things like that. That is awesome. He will be very excited to add these to his collection. This one is in an old sort of bear. I'm going to bring this closer to the screen there so you can check it out. This one is a kind of weird old Chicago Bears uniform here. If I can get it in focus, it's in a package, so my camera is it's being finicky about being able to actually see through the weird plastic packaging it's in. Now this is, there we go. All right. Weird Chicago Bear. I don't think I've ever seen them actually wear that helmet since they were wearing leather helmets back in the day, and that's kind of what that looks like actually. So that is pretty cool. I've never seen one like that. There's another one, actually there's several in bags here as well. A Saints player, and this one is a Rockies batter. So that's pretty neat. These are awesome. The pack opening machine is going to be delighted to add these to his collection, and I am really pretty pumped to see them myself, honestly. Sometimes the toys that my son gets, I'm just kind of like, man, why didn't they have those when I was a kid? You know, I think back, you know, all I had to play with was like a broken abacus and some rocks and a couple of sticks. That's, you know, when I was growing up in the cave with Aristotle and he was teaching me the rhetorics, we didn't have many toys. What can I tell you? All right, what do we have here? This is another, looks like an envelope in this case. This little pack, it's packed full of, wow, it's packed full of cards. Check this out. That is awesome. Get these carefully taken out of here. All right. And I can't quite grasp all of these, so I'll start off with the top portion of this stack and get them close to the camera. Got a Hall of Famer card from Score of Bob Greasy, great Dolphins quarterback. Of course, he, of the unbeaten Dolphins season, he was one of their quarterbacks. Bob Greasy and Earl Morrall took them to the Super Bowl. John Elway there, another all-time great quarterback. And there we've got Grayson Rodriguez, very nice Stars of the MLB card from Topps. Tony Gwynn, that is a pink parallel from Stadium Club. That is a cool-looking card. I gotta say, sometimes the parallel colors kind of don't do much for me, but that one really works. I like that one a lot. That is a really neat card. Thank you for that, David. Jerry Rice there, 5-star MVP. That is from Sage. And what is this? This is, I think, a Stadium Club card, isn't it? It's an old one. Joe Montana. That is a very old one. I think that's a Stadium Club card. Maybe not. In any event, that is a Joe Montana that I don't think I have. I'll have to get out my Joe Montana binder and see if I have one of those. I don't think that I do. Ryan Sandberg, that's a nice one. I love the in-action stuff there. Now, Score started doing that in the 90s, and then Topps kind of became a copycat with that, and they did that sort of triple exposure in action thing, which I find really cool. I think they should start doing that on cards again. I always really enjoyed seeing that. That's a beautiful Ryan Sandberg. There is a Tom Glavine from Leaf, and I always like the back of that with the tickets on there. I always thought that was a very clever design. I don't know why sports companies don't do that design again. Nice Bo Jackson card there from Score. That is a recent card from Score, and a very cool one as well. Wow, check this out. Beautiful Sandy Koufax foil select All-Stars card there. Getting kind of a glare from some of the lighting in here, but that is awesome. Really cool card. I do not have that, and have not seen that one before, so that one's really, that's a nice one. We got Isaiah Pacheco there from Score. Pack Opening Machine's going to be delighted about that. He does indeed collect the Chiefs cards, so that is pretty cool for him. Nice Kirby Puckett 1991 Score card there. Again, very nice colors on that. And we got a David Wells Orioles card. Always like to get the Orioles. There's a Heston Kjerstad rookie card from Allen and Ginter. That's from 2024, and very cool. I'm not sure I have that one. I didn't open a ton of 2024 Allen and Ginter. We've got a nice Elite Josh Allen card, another of the Pack Opening Machine's favorites, so that's going to be one to add to his PC. My son's going to really like that. Wow, check that out. Nice Ray Bourque Milestone card from 92 Pro Set. That is a neat card as well. Bourque, of course, in the NHL Hall of Fame, as well he should be. We've got Rafael Palmeiro there on another Leaf card. That is pretty cool. A little tricky getting the glare not to affect these, so hopefully you can still see them. Okay, Cam Neely. Come on now, David. All right, I've been pulling Cam Neely cards. The only reason I haven't pulled them the last couple of weeks is because there has not been hockey in the Magic Box for dorking with dice. But wow, for a couple of months there, I was pulling Cam Neely every episode, it seemed like. So thanks for adding a Cam Neely card to my very unintentional Cam Neely collection. That's a power play card from Impact, which is a very underrated card company. I always liked Impact cards. They did nice cards. They were from Fleer Skybox, so cool to get that one. This is a Donruss card, but it is a special parallel Donruss with the foil down here. That is not how the regular cards looked. These were special foil ones, kind of the way Topps does special foils now. This is a nice Greg Maddux card there. I'm trying to get it so the glare is not affecting it, but it's there. I think that's the angle I want. And then, wow, this is a nice Hockey Hall of Fame card of Coach Herb Brooks from the U.S. Olympic team. Very neat to see that. He was, of course, a player before he became a coach. Got a nice All-Stars card here with Cal and Jeff Blauser. I think that is from, is that 92 or 93? I have to look at that on the back there. It is 94. I was close. All right, there we go. Nice to see that. Flip these over. We've got a Gunnar Henderson card. That's an insert from Heritage, and a really cool one as well. That's a nice card. Really nice pull. Thanks for sending me that one, David. That's a really nice card. Really happy to get that one. That is one I don't think I have. I'll go Brad Pennington from the Orioles. A pretty decent pitcher for them for several years. And we got some backwards stuff going on here with Kirby Puckett. That is a Sportflix 3D card. We kind of see it there. He's a batter, and there he is swung. So that was kind of the trick with Sportflix, is you would get two different poses. Sports Kings gum. That is awesome. That is, I believe there was one of these in Travis's package that we opened last week. So very cool to get another of these to add to the PC. Thank you, David. And we've got a Mike Trout, very nice Bowman Mike Trout card there. I do collect Trout. I don't have Trout in a binder. I have him in a box. All of my Mike Trout cards, other than any rookies I have of him, are in a box, or any like mem cards or anything like that. We've got Patrick Roy here, Fleer 1995 card. I always thought these cards, the design on these were a little bit confusing, because you've got, this is the front of the card, and you've got like stat line on the front, and kind of just, you know, the weird echo image on the front, which I have never really, I like these, you know, the different triple exposure images, but these echo images that some of these companies did back then, I never understood the appeal of that. And yet here's the back of the card, which is his lifetime stats. So there you go. Kind of a weird design from Fleer that year. Beautiful opening day contest card of Ichiro. I know I do not have this card, and that is a really unusual, cool card. I do like oddball cards, and that is a really nice one for my collection. I also keep Ichiro cards in sleeves and in a box as well, so that will go there. And then we finish off with a Dave Johnson card. Dave Johnson, the pitcher, not the second baseman. There were two Dave Johnsons who played for the Orioles, so always have to make that distinction. What a great box of stuff. David, thank you so much for sending this. These starting lineup figures are awesome. I just have never seen these in the package. Like I said, I have the cards for these two, but have never seen this in the package, and I'm delighted to own it. I'm going to have to figure out a way to display that in the wolf lair. And then this Gretzky one is literally the only hockey starting lineup figure that I think I have ever owned. So that is a real prize for me. I'm delighted to have that. These are really, really thoughtful. The cards and the figures, and even the football minifigures there for my son. All of this really, really thoughtful, David. Thank you so much. Again, I will link to David's channel in the descriptive box below, and I hope you guys will check him out. Super nice guy, and obviously a super generous guy as well. Really, really kind of you to send all of this, David. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to open, but it'll be something fun and interesting, and we'll be set up in the usual locale back at my table down the hall in the wolf lair. So I will see you back here then, and as always, happy collecting.